Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading Satellite Office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Wednesday, March the 13th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. I want to first start off by taking a look to see how the indices closed the session out here for the day. The Dow Jones was up a little over 5 points here. The NASDAQ was up close to 3 points, and the S&P 500 was up a little over 2 points. We take a look at the breadth on the market today. We had 3,211 issues advancing on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and the Amex. We had 2,905 issues declining on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and the Amex. So pretty much a one-to-one, slightly in favor of the bulls. We had 616 issues making new highs and 41 issues on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and Amex making new lows. So pretty much a day in favor of the bulls, a win for the bulls today. We did have some selling pressure early in the morning, but then around 10 o'clock the markets reversed and we traded up for the rest of the session. So let's go ahead and get this party started, folks. Starting off with the SPY daily chart as usual. We have the SPY still holding above these short-term key moving averages. Pretty much trading in a range between 155 and 156 for the past 3 days here. You can see pretty much a range week so far. And if we could break over this 156.11 level and hold above that level, we'll be looking for a move up towards those 157s, 157.61, which is an all-time high on the SPY. So short-term support, you want to be working off this 155 level. Resistance, you want to be working off this 156. Either way, if we could get a nice little break out this little range, we should get a nice expansion move in the direction, whether it be to the top side or whether it be a break to the downside. We'll get a nice little pullback down towards these possible 153.29s, which is the next support level to the downside there. All right, so we'll see how that plays out. Let's go and take a look at the triple Qs, see how the triple Qs did today. They were down 9 cents today. Still trying to hold above this key 68.60 level. You can see every time we break below 68.60 for the past 5 sessions or so, we come right back up and close above the level. So there are some dip buyers in there. At the same time, if we were to break below 68.60 or hold below that level, then hold below these 68.40s, which is a 2-day low, we'll be looking for a move down here towards 68, which comes from the gap up that we had last Tuesday. All right, we break back to the top side, and we break past today's highs around 68.90. We'll be looking for a move up towards those 69.02s, and of course, looking for a move up towards like 69.50, 69.50, 69.68, which is the next resistance level that we have up here on the Qs, which comes from this high that we made back here in October of last year. So we'll see how it plays out. Again, we're still above all this little supply zone that we've, of course, if you guys been watching the videos, you guys see how we were tracking the movement through this whole little supply zone right here. We finally broke above it from the gap up last week Tuesday, and so far we're still holding above that level there. And in general, we're still holding the gap. If we were to sell off, though, I would assume that we're going to come back down here and fill the gap and then continue to move back to the top side if the market continues to hold that bid. Let's not forget the NASDAQ was showing relative weakness yesterday. Let's not forget that the NASDAQ index is still the lagger index out of the Dow, the Russell, and the S&P 500. All right, if we go ahead and take a look at the IWM, the Russell 2000, IWM closed up 35 cents today, closed up 0.37%. Again, we're looking for that consolidation above this little level right here, this 92.69 level. Sorry, wait 1 second. All right, this 92.69 level, which comes from this high right here that we broke out, and then so far we're consolidating above that level, and we're also still holding above this little key trend line from the channel that we've been tracking. As long as we hold above this key channel line right here, that could definitely act as a level of support as well. We could just start see the IWM start to lift off away a little bit from this little prior support resistance. Now it's now support, and that key trend line that we're still watching. All right, and that key trend line comes from this little gap up low from the beginning of the year, from the start of the year. That little level right here, this inflection point, and these inflection points down here you can see have been guiding us, helping us out to trade the IWM, the Russell 2000. If we take a look at the dollar futures to see how the dollar futures reacted today, the dollar futures was strong today, and the market held it pretty well. That's a little bit interesting right there. Next resistance level on the dollar futures, I do not have. For some reason, I guess they marked they switched over to the June contract, and most of the chart information won't show up here. But so far the dollar futures are looking pretty good. I mean, you could take a look at the UUP, which may be what I need to do now since they messed up the chart for me. And you can see UUP has some resistance. UUP has some resistance around this little gap right here around the 2265 level. We also have a gap up here around 2290, some action around here around 2279. And then this was a prior resistance that we just broke out of right here from this little level right there. So, we do have some resistance up here, but you can see right now in the UUP, if you use the UUP to track the dollar, which is the U.S. dollar index, you can see that we're holding above these little short-term moving averages, especially this 8 EMA, 8 SMA, which is a blue moving average right here. And so far, the dollar has been an uptrend since the start of February. Let's keep that in mind. Again, one thing that's interesting today, though, is that the market actually held up with that strong dollar a bit there. And let's go ahead and take a look at that Euro USD. Euro USD, and the Euro is not looking too healthy now here, folks. Breaking below this key trend line. The same time, trading right back below 130, and actually try to break down today here, but they bought it right back up. But Euro selling pressure is definitely going to cause a bid in the dollar. It's going to be very interesting to see how the equity markets in general take that into consideration along with the commodity sector. So we'll be watching that pretty closely in the next couple of days here going into next week also. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these commodity sectors, see how the commodity sector did today. And the commodity sector here. All right, the commodity sector, taking a look at crude oil futures. Crude oil futures, a little pause day today, nothing too crazy there. Bounced up a little bit, sold off, back down. If I bring over my commodity screen here, you can see what we actually had going on here. Euro, the dollar was strong in the morning. Then it started trading sideways. Started strong a little bit more in the morning, then started trading sideways to lower. Euro was weak in the morning, then started trading back up a little bit there. And I guess that's why we had a little bit of selling pressure on the open of the market, then we kind of floated up higher as the the dollar started selling off a bit, the euro started going back up. If you take a look at the commodity screen right here real quick, all right, you have my gold futures here. You can see gold futures opened up a little bit and they started selling off. Crude oil opened up a little bit and started selling off. So the commodities were strong in the early part of the morning, but then they started fading away a bit there. A lot of you guys have been asking me about the silver, so I'm going to make sure I go over the silver in today's video. But let's go ahead and take a look at the gold futures here, see how the gold futures close today. Remember, we're still waiting for the gold futures to try to break above the 1600 level. They are back inside this little channel that we've been watching for this little main channel right here. All right, this little main channel right here from right there to right here. We're still above that little channel, so that's pretty good. You can see last week we were consolidating above that bottom channel line right there holding. We got the breakout on Tuesday, and no follow-through at all. All right, we haven't had any decent follow-through yet on this little expansion candle that we had out of this little range that we've been tracking for you guys here. All right, and we're just going to keep on waiting. Remember, we still have this moving averages that are above us as resistance. So, the sellers are still in control here. If we take a look at the GLD, for some of you folks out there that watch the GLD, GLD was down 53 cents today. It hit our little target right here towards this little declining 20-day EMA, SMA, and may want to pull back in a gap and fill and kind of still carve out a little base down here above this 152 level. So keep an eye on that right there. We break above these moving averages. The next target is going to be around 156.41. GDX, the gold miners were weak today a little bit after having some nice action, the past couple of days here to the top side. But you can see there's still no love in the gold miners as they got rejected today. It would have been real nice to see a follow-through day on the GDX for a move up here towards these 39s, but sellers are still in control in this stock right here, in this ETF, I should say, and they're making lower, we're still making those lower highs and lower lows. So downtrend still intact there, folks. SLV, some of my friends on Facebook were asking me about SLV silver. And silver's pretty much just trading in a range here. And this is a bearish range for the fact that we had this nice little downward movement right here and sideways action. This is usually indicative of a move lower. So we'll be keeping a close eye on silver. But if silver was to break above 28.50 and hold, you can get a nice move up towards this gap fill area around here, around 29.45, 29.50 or so. So keep an eye on the silver. And when those stocks start shaping up for, when this ETF starts shaping up for a crackdown or possibly a pop-up, we'll be eyeing those stocks for some trade setups on the 60-minute charts to get involved in the trade and make some cash flow trades on them. So make sure you tune in. Again, if you have not been to our website yet, the website is wallstreettrading.com. We have videos on our Facebook page. We have videos on the YouTube under My Wall Street TV. And you can find our videos in the archive section in the upper right tab under the My Wall Street TV tab there. So go check it out, folks. What else do we want to take a look at here? Went over the commodity sector. Last but not least, let's take a look at the volatility index, the VIX, the VIX. The VIX, ever since we had a little breakout on the VIX about 2 weeks ago, I was really looking for the volatility index to hold above this 1356 level, but you can see here the volatility index continues to get smashed and actually made new lows, new 52-week lows this week. And if we were to continue moving to the downside, the volatility index could really move back down towards 9 or 8, which would take it to back test this key trend line that we've been tracking from this big channel that we had right here. All right, that back to that trend line really comes all the way down there towards 9 or 8. And if it was to go down there, I definitely will be buying some volatility calls, call options or something, vertical call spreads, whatever you want to put on it, because that would be very cheap volatility. We have to see how it does, though. But that's something that you want to be paying close attention to right there, that volatility index, which is basically telling us there's no fear in the market right now. Another thing that I wanted to touch base with that I touched base with you guys about 2 weeks ago when we had a little breakout in the Treasury bonds. Well, you can see the TLT was trading in that nice little range, and guess what? They pretty much did a pop and crap where they popped it above this little range, got a couple people excited in these bonds from that little fear that came in the market, and then they sold it right back off and put money right back into equities that were for the cheap. And you can see now the TLT is back down here, back below that little big breakout candlestick that I had right there, kind of similar to the VIX. All right, so that's pretty interesting to note right there. And if you watch the video I put out 2 weeks ago when I showed my little proprietary channel analysis inside of the channel system on the 30-year bond futures, you can see we were trading in this little channel range right here. All right, we were trading in this nice little channel range right here. We had a nice little breakout, but then guess what, folks? This was like a nice little bull trap action right here. They slammed us right back down. So anybody that bought this little TLT out of this little move from this little consolidation they had right here, they're pretty much trapped right now. These people that I'm trying to show you guys right here, yeah. These people that bought the TLT anywhere above this level right here, they're pretry much trapped here. They're in a losing position right now. But at the same time, they did get some buyers in there, sucked them into the trade, and then washed them right back out. All right. That was movement from equities into bonds when the fear came into the market, then back out of bonds into equities. And the market is telling you that because the market is still going up. No fear in the market right now. You can see from all the different things we've been watching, there's no fear in the market right now. So let's go ahead and talk about some stocks, folks. Let's go ahead and talk about the Apple trade. As you guys know, we take a look at the general market first to help you guys out and help ourselves out and kind of gauge the market for the following day. Apple continues to pretty much be a stock that you really don't want to be trading right now. Pretty much trading sideways between 440 and this little level down here around 420, so a $20 range in that stock there. Amazon had a nice little pause day today. We are looking for Amazon to possibly break out here. Still looking pretty good. Again, we're watching this nice little up move right here. Kind of a little downward, slightly bullish channel right there. Target, of course, is up here towards 285. Just needs to wait till that momentum comes in there, and it's going to trigger a buy signal once it breaks out over 277.50. So I'm actually setting my alert for right now. All right, wouldn't be surprised if the day that it does that, if they gap it up though, like they love to do. IBM continues to show some nice strength. We've been talking about IBM for the past 2 weeks or so here. Again, ever since it was able to break past a little key trend line that we were watching, this little channel right here. All right, and pretty much once it holds above that, it's a buy, and we've been watching this one since 203, and it continues to perform pretty well, guys. Keep an eye on IBM. IBM looks pretty good. If you take a look at the monthly chart right here, IBM is breaking out of a nice little consolidation that it's been in for the past year or so, and this could really be a nice performer for this year, 2013, guys. You may want to take a look at the IBM, some call options on that. We've been mentioning that for the past 2 weeks again, like I said. And so that looks pretty good. VMW had some nice action today. These data storage companies are looking pretty good. VMW had some nice action there. The STX, the WDCs. WDC was in the news today for a little rumor that it had about a possible buyout. So WDC made some nice moves today here, looking pretty good. You have NTAP, another data storage stock that I didn't take a look at today, but you can take a look at that to see if that's performing, and it's not. Take a look at STX. STX was one of the data storage stocks that did pretty well yesterday. Gave you a nice little 2-day continuation play right there today, but pulled back off the highs. EMC is a data storage play, and they were in play because of VMW, because they have a lot of VMW shares, I believe. They own some of VMW, so when VMW trades pretty good, the EMC usually trades pretty good. So you can take a look at this stock. Had a nice little power move today. A couple of guys in the room were talking about this one today. We had some nice trades in the room, though. We traded BBY this morning. Not Blockbuster, excuse me. Best Buy. Best Buy is the stock that we've been tracking for the past 2 days here, waiting for it to kind of break out of this little move right here. The stock has been showing relative strength intraday when the market was breaking down, so that kind of gave us a heads up to watch this one today, as we've been watching this one since yesterday, and it gave us a nice little payday today as we were able to get involved around 2060. hit our target of 21, and some of the traders in the room actually held it towards the highs and made some nice coin there. Netflix wasn't in play today. They had some news out with Facebook. To be honest with you guys, I did not even look to see what the news was. I just know that we caught a nice little trade on Netflix because how it was set up pre-market had some nice momentum going into the morning session here. Take a look at the pre-market action on it on the 5-minute chart. I mean, this thing was just getting bought up pre-market. So we were able to scalp it a little bit on the open for this little quick move right here. And then some of the traders that followed up with it again were able to catch this nice little tight move that it gave you right here to get involved in. And you guys can see the trend was there pre-market. So what do? You wait for a Bible pullback and you get involved. Or you can zoom in on your 1-minute chart, which is what I like to do because I like to trade the open. And, try to get an entry somewhere in the first, try to get an entry somewhere in this area right here. Of course, watching the tape, using momentum trading skills, which includes watching the tape and some of the other stuff that we teach. All right, so that trade worked out pretty well. The volatility index, my partner called out the VIX a little bit for the morning session. That one popped up a little bit. If you take a look at the 5-minute chart, had a nice little move on the open, but then gave it all back, which is not a surprise. So in other words, guys, there is some movers and shakers out there. Just got to pick your spots tight. Make sure you're trading stocks that are in play, and we try to focus on that in the morning. So come check us out, 8:30, mywallstreettv.com to get access to the chat room. You want to go to the wallstreettrading.com page and sign up, and you will be greeted by myself at 8:30 in the morning going over trades to watch and ideas and stocks that are in play, along with posting news and a lot of great resources and tools that we have for you guys. So check it out, folks. Have a great night. See you all tomorrow morning. Cheers.